Hello and welcome to chapter 35 of The Last Thoughts of a Busy Mind. This one named The Great Unexpectations because I do love a little bit of wordplay. And if you don't know what I'm wordplaying on, it's the Great Expectations, the Charles Dickens book. And this is kind of an odd episode. First of all, my drink today is. It's just sparkling water, and the flavor is. It's called classic lemonade. It's just. It tastes an awful lot of lemon peels, which is not my favorite, but it's cold, it's refreshing, and it's what I have today because I'm not recording from my father's house. For those of you long listeners of The Last Thoughts of a Busy Mind, first of all, thank you for sticking with it. I know it wasn't easy. We've had sometimes. I think we are reaching our 1 year anniversary. I need to check it twice. I'm hoping we haven't missed it because I do want to do like something. But yeah, for those of you who are very long listeners of it, you probably know that for the first half of the first season of The Last Thoughts, I was in my mother's house. And then at the episode Relocation Depression, which I think was chapter 8, I went to my father's house because my mom and her husband got COVID. They are divorced. I think I've mentioned that before. And now I'm living in my father's house at the moment. I usually go back and forth a lot, but I decided to come to my mother's house for a couple of days, just um, check up, mm, check on her and just change of scenery, what you want to call it. And since Friday is one of the, I came around like 12 hours ago here. It's 2 a.m. when I'm recording this. I came around 1:30 p.m. and well, it's 2 a.m. in the Friday, so I brought my voice recorder and I'm recording this. So this is sort of return to original form of The Last Thoughts of a Busy Mind. And so yeah, that is why if it sounds different, if you can hear the damn clock on the wall because it's louder here, it's because it's a different scene, and the drinks are different here too. So where was I? Yes, the Great Unexpectations. I've talked about this in the OCD plus GAD episode, which is frankly, one of my own favorite ones. Do check it out if you can. And it's it's in uh, it's in the last season. I can't. Let me check what exact chapter it is. It's chapter 25, and again in the chapter 31, which was the beginning of the third season, Obsession. I talked about this a little bit too, but I'm a creature of planning. I do love a good bit of planning. I plan ahead for as much of the stuff that I can. I know unexpectedness is part of life, and I hate that about life, but I do like to plan ahead. And then stuff happens. First, there was a domestic dispute, which, I mean, I don't want to air the dirty laundry here. A few of you who are listening probably already know what I'm talking about because you're my friend and I've told you. But yeah, things weren't good in my father's house in terms of domestic relationships between me and my stepmother. Maybe one day when I hopefully leave Iran, I can do a lot of stuff that I wanted to do for this podcast, like talk about a lot of subjects that right now I can't, like my stepmother, sexuality, all of that. And not that those are connected. Those are not fucking connected. No, no. I no, don't even go there. Anyways, so things weren't good. I had a very tense start of the week until the midweek, like around Wednesday was when we finally sat down and talked, and she was all roses and sweet talk, but I'm not buying it. But then I came here, and why am I doing this? Why am I talking about the great unexpectations? Because when something unexpected happens, I sometimes realize how much my futile attempt at controlling life and getting life to go with my flow is misguided. For example, Yasp, yet another shitty podcast, which is a podcast I do with my friend Amir Reza, who I'm hoping is listening to this. And I had a plan exactly for what our newest episode, which we recorded and it's on his hand to edit now, would go. I had a very perfectly written plan, all of that. It didn't happen. We changed so much of it on the fly, and I believe what we changed this one, which was about a video game series, more than anything I've ever done before. I've changed and adapted, but and the end results, I mean, I haven't heard the end results because they need to be edited first, but the feeling I got from the episode that we recorded, we talked for a long time. We actually had to cut it in half and say we'll come back for another episode. But that felt good. I mean, it felt like something that I couldn't have constructed. And there is another thing. I am pressuring the same friend into let's make a video game because I want to. It's one of my fantasies. I would like to be involved in writing for a video game. I've been involved in a lot of projects that didn't end up anywhere, but I want to be involved in something that ends up somewhere. And I have an idea for a video game. I've told him, and he said it takes a long time. And so I'm constantly thinking, you know, um, even with my writing, am I really limiting myself in terms of writing? Am I trying to control all of the ideas that come into my head and squeezing them to find like the golden nugget when the golden nugget is so liquid that it's ringing out when I'm squeezing the idea? If that makes any sort of fucking sense. And I was thinking about the game thingy. I call it game thingy between us, and my usual approach to game writing for a video game or for a movie, which is to, okay, what is the plot? What are the characters? Then let's see what we can do with this. Basically, write a roadmap, then go step by step, looking at it from a macro perspective, looking at the big picture, and then going in, enhance, until you you get to the line by line dialogue of the characters, and then you're done. That is my usual approach to storytelling, and that's why I call it the Great Unexpectations, because um, it's mostly about storytelling. I'm sorry, what if by doing that, I am not letting the story evolve as well as it could have been? And now, don't get me wrong, during my time as a writer, I've written some stuff that I'm incredibly proud of, like narcissistically proud of. Oh, yes, yes, the car sounds. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but it's a staple of this location. The windows are not as airtight, and sound travels pretty much, and it's much closer to the road than my father's place. So lots of cars. I'm just glad there aren't any trucks or anything like that. So, um, I've written some stuff that I'm actually really proud of, like incredibly proud of, narcissistically proud of. But I've written a lot of stuff that when I look at them now, I feel like I've tried very much to limit myself in terms of writing. Like, okay, I'm inspired by, for example, Apocalypse Now, the Francis Ford Coppola movie. So I'm going to write like I'm influenced by Francis Ford Coppola's Apocalypse Now, and it's very apparent because I didn't let the story evolve. I limited it anytime I went into, and this is what I've been looking at for the last couple of days, going through all of my old stuff. First of all, I'm a genius, and I know I usually say this with a grain of sarcasm, and this is too. I'm thinking sarcastically, but honestly, I think I need to learn to love myself a little bit more because some of the stuff I've written aren't actually that bad. They need polishing because they've been written by a 16-year-old boy, but some core ideas there could work. I might steal from myself. And but as I'm reading it, I can definitely realize for many of them, not all of them. Some of them, again, are good enough that I'm looking at it and saying, okay, this is good. I might actually just polish this, revive this, and give it a fresh coat of paint and put it up for the world to see. But some of them I can see all of the rivets and cracks and see, okay, this was definitely when I was playing Skyrim. This is definitely for when I was playing Armies of Exigo, which is an old game. By the way, I'm just hoping that I haven't lost my chance for the Last Thoughts of a Busy Mind anniversary because I have some good ideas for it. I don't want to do something exciting. Again, sorry, my brain just travels all around the place and I'm thinking of, oh, I need to do something special. And I have like a million ideas now and I want to talk about them, but you don't know. I'm going to keep this a secret for some of you because some of you will hear from me because you're my friend. And where I was, I completely forgot. Oh yeah, and Arms of Exigo, which is a good enough game. I really enjoy that game. I might do a thing for that game someday. And all of those cracks begin to show itself, and I'm thinking like, but why do I do that to myself? I know there are a lot of insecurities involved, and maybe it's because I'm watching a little bit too much of H. Bomber guy, Lindsay Ellis, and Folding Ideas, and people who are much smarter than I in terms of a lot of things. And maybe I'm just trying to fool myself to not talk about the recent unrest in Middle East in terms of the terrorist attack in Afghanistan and the ongoing battle in Israel and Palestine, but who cares? Middle East is a bedrock for unrest. I, maybe one day I do an episode on Middle East, just as someone who lives in it. Who knows? Anyways, maybe it's that. But I know a lot of insecurities are involved, and I'm watching a lot of those guys. So I'm trying to sort of talk in a more refined way with thing. But since I'm not writing a script for this, I'm just saying whatever comes to my mind. Maybe I need to dig deeper into why I limit myself. But I feel like it's because I think and I feel like what I write, what I have to give, is not as good as what I'm trying to rip off. For example, I watched Francis Ford Coppola's Apocalypse Now, and I then decided to write a short story called Prisoner. It was in Persian, and it's a guy who slowly becomes disenfranchised with the world around himself and realizes that what he's been doing is following in the footsteps of everyone that was there before him. And it's obviously just influenced by that, painfully obvious. And I think because in my head I'm thinking, okay, the story that I'm writing is not as good as Apocalypse Now, so let's just stick with Apocalypse Now. It has worked, so let's just stick with it. I'm going to take a sip of my drink. As I'm thinking about it, I did it again right now in terms of comparing my own feelings and trying to evolve with H. Palmberg guy, Lindsay Ellis, and folding ideas, saying that, oh, I'm not going to be as good as them, so let's just rip off them. But maybe I need to welcome this unexpectedness, these little surprises, these little things that do not work in the, how do you say it, classical sense of what my mind thinks as the way to go. Maybe I need to mix it up every now and then. People who don't even know me for too long tell me that I'm an anxious guy. And I am. And the most common advice I've heard from people who've known me for a long time, people who known me a few years, and people who know me like for a week or two is just relax, just chill, just let it flow. And maybe I should. Again, I don't think it will be as enjoyable for me because I feel like I'm letting go of my style when I'm writing or when I'm approaching life like that. But the results sometimes can be good. Sometimes they can't, because to be honest, a lot of the time when I've let it go and that I went with the flow, I ended up with a mess that I can't just stomach to revisit. So there's that too. So yeah. Anyways, if you are in the if you are on YouTube, do comment. Give me your ideas for what you think I should do for the anniversary if I haven't missed it. Let me check it right now. I have the Anchor page just open here, and the first episode I published was on 12th of July. Huh. So I have 2 months. I don't even know if there is going to be an episode by then. I should have thought this too. But if there isn't an episode there, I will do a special one, like I did with Amiras of the Glamour Cat. I will do a special episode. So do tell me your ideas. Do send me a message on Anchor, and I will play your message at the beginning of the next episode. and I hope to see you all next week.